Welcome back to Chips and Salsa, where we talk about security at Intel and the whole cybersecurity ecosystem. I'm CRob.
And I'm Jerry.
Nice to meet you, Jerry. Today we have a real treat. We have Lisa Bradley. She's a senior director with Dell Security, and she's here to talk about Dell's security programs, our partnership between Intel and Dell, and their experiences with the Intel platform update.
Let's talk to Lisa.
Well, hello, Lisa. Can you introduce yourself and talk about your role at Dell?
Hi, yes, this is Lisa Bradley. I'm a senior director at Dell Technologies. I have underneath me vulnerability response, aka PCERT, and I have the security champion and training program, our bug bounty program, open source component management, dependency management, and customer security, where we help make sure we're transparent to our customers about our security practices for our products.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I know that Dell's made a significant investment in product security assurance. Can you describe Dell's investment in this space and what your objectives are?
Yeah, you're right. Dell has made a tremendous investment in security. Our security and resiliency organization focuses on some key security pillars such as supply chain, physical security, cybersecurity, governance, risk, compliance, and of course, where I fall under, which is product security. In the product security space, we have more like four focus areas: vulnerability response, which is what I'm in charge of. And here we focus on properly responding to vulnerabilities, not only vulnerabilities that are in proprietary code, but also vulnerabilities that exist in open source or third party code, such that we get from Intel. We base our practices for that on the first PCERT services framework. One of the other things that we focus on in the product security space, which hopefully everybody's familiar with, is our SDL, our secure development lifecycle. Here, our goal is to build security into the development lifecycle so that we deliver more secure products in the first place. So we have an SDL standard, we have 60 controls that the product teams need to adhere to, and these controls are based on, different data sources and industry standards, and they include things like static code analysis, threat modeling, open source component management, vulnerability scanning, pen testing, all that type of fun stuff to make sure our products are secure in the first place. The two other aspects that we also focus on within product security space is building a culture of security. So here we do education for our security community and our Dell developers. We have a belt system of training and a security champion program. And then lastly, which is the thing that I brought up earlier, is customer security. And our focus here is to protect Dell and our customers. We'll make sure that we're being very transparent, with our practices and having industry leadership.
And how do you measure that at Dell?
So we have a governance and reporting team where we focus to drive accountability by providing our engineering executives, visibility into some key security KPIs. I mean, we always have metrics available and dashboards that anybody could look at within the company. But we do specific quarterly readouts to the different business teams so that they could have insights into what they're doing well and where they need to improve, how they're doing against our SDL standard, how they're doing against our VR PCERT standard, what type of assessments we've been doing against, those 60 controls I was talking about in our SDL catalog. And we're lucky that within our different business units, they also have security governance teams. So we do a lot of collaboration with them to make sure that we're driving the right initiatives and reporting out on our goals.
Very nice. So let's focus in on a fairly specific topic. Can you maybe talk about some of the challenges of producing firmware mitigations when you have multi vendor collaboration that's required?
Yeah, that's a good one. So there's always a challenge anytime there's a multi-vendor collaboration. The challenges usually are around keeping all the parties in the know and adhering to embargo dates. So this takes a lot of time and coordination with all the different vendors or people that are part of it, and making sure that the right people are in the know, but that the wrong people, don't even know about it while we're working to get to that end date here. So it can be a challenge with the amount of collaboration that's needed.
Mhm. Could you maybe describe your process a little bit?
Sure. So let's take you guys. So when a vendor like Intel reaches out to us about an upcoming security update, first we need each Dell product team that consumes those Intel products to identify which vulnerabilities actually affect them. When Then they have to put planning together. When can they actually address those issues, right, and apply that in security update? When they can deploy the affected Dell's product security update, like, and get it out there. And then lastly, of course, when we think about if we're impacted, if we're not, and then when we could get that fix out, the last thing that we need to focus on with our process is really disclosing that update to our customers, and we do that through Dell security advisories. So there's a whole big process that goes behind, and a lot of coordination that we need to do just internally within Dell when a vendor like you guys come to us with an update.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned coordination. So how does Dell coordinate with your suppliers and vendors?
So Dell has a lot of interlocks with our vendors. We have a you know specific team where we focus and dedicate time to not only discuss with our vendors about vulnerabilities and issues, but also to discuss best practices. As we always continue on our journey to have more maturity in our practices, it's good to have this collaboration with our peers in the industry so that we can learn from each other, and continue to grow our company and our maturity and the security practices of the whole ecosystem.
Mhm. You touched on it a little bit about keeping the bad guys out of the know. What are some of your biggest challenges in doing this coordination?
So I think some of the biggest challenges with the coordination is that, information can change, and dates of when to expect an update could change. If you guys are going to be trying to give us a security update and you run into an issue with testing or something and a bug, right? It's going to take you a little bit longer. So a lot of that is a lot of having open communication that, hey, this is changing, this is going to be late, and then figuring out what that impact is to our product teams. Because if we already started our planning and scheduling based on the fact that we're going to get something from a vendor, and some challenge arises, how are we going to be able to handle that? Um, the other sort of challenge I see is that understanding the impact of the security update. So, you know, is it going to cause mass panic by our customers? Is the risk low? Is the risk high to our customers? What's it mean to Dell? So a lot of that is a challenge to sort of make sure that you're prepared for the potential backslash of having the update. I truly believe being transparent about our security updates is important, but sometimes, um, the media gets excited or overly excited about issues, which causes a little bit of a panic.
Yeah.
Well aware of that. But as you know, we at Intel have implemented the Intel platform update process to coordinate vulnerability disclosures across the ecosystem. How does this process help address those challenges for you all at Dell?
Yeah, so the IPU has allowed our product teams to have a more consistency with our scheduling of resources. So when we know we're going to get an update from you, right? You give us ample amount of time so that we could react to the security update. We know when we're going to get the information, so that we can determine the impact to our product lines. when the update is going to be publicly disclosed, typically the embargo date, and usually a heads up of the severity or expected visibility. I think you guys have been really good about trying to do that for us so that we could get a sense of what the media or our customers' interaction would be. The I think for us also the coordination and in-depth technical transparency, it allows our teams to better handle the impact of the updates, so that we're just in a better position to have all our communications ready for our customers when you're going to publicly disclose the issues.
Mhm. So, overall, has Dell found this process helpful to your organization and your customers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, us being able to plan out our resources and customer communications ahead of time is key.
Yeah,
No one likes to be unprepared. So.
certainly not.
Yeah, and how does the phased approach of our platform update process, how's that help?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like I was talking about, knowing the dates ahead of time really helps. I think the phased out approach is really good to your IP communications or IP communications. It really helps us know when to expect the needed information, when the embargo date will be, and who along with that tiered approach and phased approach is actually going to be aware of this information because some of the people that you make aware in your phased out approach are actually our customers too.
Yeah, it's a great point. Uh, a little bit to that, can you maybe talk about the need for transparency in order to let all of our collective end customers be able to accurately assess risk?
Yeah, so I'm a firm believer of transparency, and Dell is too with our practices and also, about our vulnerability information. So for every vulnerability, there needs to be the right balance of information for a customer that like you give to us to make sure that we understand the impact of the vulnerability. Are we affected? Do we have mitigations or security enhancements that already protect us from this vulnerability? So if we didn't have that clear knowledge from you, we wouldn't be able to clearly determine the impact. And then, of course, if we are affected, we have to think about what is the risk to our customer. So all of this information is important to know so that we could plan our actions, for your Intel's, security updates that we get from you guys.
Yeah, that's great perspective.
Yeah. Transparency is part of Intel's Security First pledge. What is Dell's perspective on transparency around vulnerabilities?
Yeah, so like I mentioned just a minute ago, we certainly agree with transparency. So our motive in the product security space is to be transparent about disclosing vulnerabilities. So this means that we disclose not only issues reported to us by third parties, such as yourself, but also vulnerabilities that are found through our bug bounty program. We also disclose internally identified vulnerabilities that are in our offerings. So we believe that customers should have a clear visibility into their own risk and what a security remediation is addressing so that they could clearly make their own risk decision into how quickly they themselves want to apply our security updates.
It makes sense. Um, what do your customers tell you that they need from Dell?
That's a good one. Our customers certainly aren't shy about telling us what they need,
I bet not.
but that's a good thing because especially when you're in security, it helps drive that culture change, right? To hear that feedback from the customers. So I would say, besides wanting security features in our products, customers are asking for transparency into our security practices, such as understanding when to expect security updates, when security support will end for our products. So we're always continuously working to provide this information to our customers and whatever other type of questions that they want, and give them clear transparency about what we're doing in the product security space.
Any closing thoughts?
At Dell, we're very thankful for the partnership we have with Intel and the continued collaboration to improve not only the partnership that we have with you guys and the collaboration, but the industry as a whole. Our goal is to best protect our customers, and I think with our partnership, we're able to do that.
Well, Lisa, thank you for joining us and giving us your insights and information about Dell's investment in product security assurance.
Great. Thanks for having me here.
Well, CRob, that was a lot of great information from Lisa about Dell's
Right.
investment in product security assurance.
It sure was. It's really wonderful to see a partner like Dell that's really active within the industry and really shares a lot of the same values that Intel does.
Yep. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching.
Bye.